to Sunday sermon too, the no holds bar session on Mayegun's Diary Politico. Dear brethren, Sunday sermon is a little bit different from our regular, broadcast on Mayegun's Diary Politico. It can be very brutal, blunt, and so straightforward. So we do advise those who have very soft and thin skins not to watch this. We also advise those who love to be politically correct, those of you who are looking for respect for your criminal elders or dealers, not to watch. So those of you who have been socially conditioned, right, to kiss the ass or the asses of these mofos parading themselves as political or traditional leaders in that contraption. Every word that comes out of Mayegun's mouth is intentional. None of it is a gaffe or a mistake. So therefore, except if you are a closet, one Nigerianist, okay, closet Agbadorian, be a closet bat idiot or a cyberbarian, whichever one you are, you will never take any offense in whatever Mayegun says. But if you, for any reason, become upset because of what Mayegun says, I would probably have no apology, right, for you. And if you express your anger because of the people I am going to be talking about and the names I'm going to be mentioning, and you therefore express your displeasure, which means you are supporting them, the most we can do for you, by the grace of Allah, is to further curse you and possibly call on Ogun to finish you, if possible, blind you, deaf you, right? Just finish you beyond whatever it is that the APC is currently doing to you. So we wish you all the evil that exists, which is the evil that APC represents. So because to avoid all of this, we do advise some of you not to bother. Don't watch. Do not join Mayegun's Diary Politico on Sundays. And therefore, you would have no reason, right, to be unnecessarily mad in your own house there, okay? But to the rest of the brethren in the temple of truth, this is Mayegun again. Please, after reading the caption of this broadcast, read the description as well. Like the broadcast and share it, because there is love in sharing. Share. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today. Ladies and gentlemen, from where we stopped last night, we shall continue from there tonight. So last night, we saw a young lady, an NYSC copper, who expressed her own displeasure, disappointments in the ruiners of Nigeria, currently being led by the druggie, the certificate forger, the Asiwaju Eyin Ole, Asiwaju Eyin Agbero, that is Tinubu, Ebola. So she expressed her displeasure, which as a citizen, she has every right to. The Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, including the mofos working for that useless NYSC, what's it called? They started threatening her. Of course, that has now escalated into what is now more or less like a movement, where the Gen Z have decided to add their voice that if you are mad that one person made a video, so maybe you should get really, really madder, enter markets. When you see thousands of us make similar videos on how we are currently, navigating through this failed contraption, failed economy, being led by Tinubu. So it is now called a 30-day rant challenge, and I've brought to you tonight many of those rants. Also tonight, we are going to touch on the Natasha issue. There is a latest. In fact, treat it with serious caution. We are currently being briefed. We are hearing it from the grapevine that Akpabioli and his gang, they have another trick up their sleeves as we speak. And I'm going to share that with you tonight. Ireti Kingibe came back or came around after, days of bashing from the obedient, by the way. She is now coming around to say she would champion the fight of Natasha, the sexual harassment, fight of Natasha. She is going to join now in a statement that I'm going to also share with you tonight. So let's get down to it quickly. So dear Templars, you are welcome back again to this segment of Mayegun's Diary Political on Sunday sermon. It should have been tagged Sunday sermon, right? But don't worry. Raye, that's the name of the young lady that you watched our video. That video went viral yesterday on the internet. A lady that, lamented, put it out there, lamented what an average people are facing in that contraption under this Tinubunomic. He said a lot. He spoke about the cost of data, which everybody is also affected. He spoke about the cost of, cost of living generally, cost of living crisis, it is called, where rent, some of them can no longer afford rent. Those who afford rent are unable to afford their feeding. Raye said in a video, that Tinubu is the most terrible president, that she is not like that old to know if there were, a worse president before Tinubu. But in a lifetime, from our own experience, Tinubu is the worst of them. It's the most terrible. That he has to do something, needed to do something, rather than those who are telling him that he took this decision, he took that decision to save you and the rest of that, while they are using the same supposed saved money to buy themselves cars, yachts, buy themselves planes, private jets, build themselves mansions with billions. With the Wike is even spending 39 billion to renovate a conference center that was built in the 90s for 240 million naira. Now, they are renovating it, not building another one, renovating it. Northeast Development Commission, among the job for the boys created by Tinubu recently. Northeast Development Commission, North Central Development Commission, Southeast, Southwest, stuff like that, right? The entire budget of the Northeast Development Commission is 19 billion. Out of that 19 billion, 18.6 billion is to pay their salaries, by the way. But that is for the entire Northeast, to the development of Northeast of Nigeria. Meanwhile, one single conference center in Abuja is to be renovated with 39 billion naira by Wike. So when I made that video, right, the NYSC supposed employee phoned her. And before then, they were already posting image everywhere, trying to find out who can tell which of the batch of the NYSC that she belonged to. So finally, when they found out, they called her and they threatened her. They threatened her, which means, if you don't go and delete that video, we'll make sure that you do not get that NYSC passing out certificate. You see that certificate, the one that Mba of Enugu forged, right? It's the same certificate that Tinubu never had, because he never went to any real school per se. But he's your president today. So a lot of people are saying that those on social media are just hyping her, that the NYSC will mess her life up, which is the normal thing in that contraption, by the way. The voluntary slaves, the Ronukus, they even took it even more personal. She is serving in Lagos, and she said, everywhere stinks. Baba, swear on your life, you that is watching me right now from Lagos. I'm not talking about those sewage dwellers, the Ronukus per se. Most of them don't even live in Lagos. They're not from Lagos. You that lives in Lagos, you. Can you swear on your life that Lagos doesn't stink? Is that the open burning of refuse in your dump sites from Ojota to Olushosun, right? And then from there to other dump sites across the state where you see all this smoke from that smelly dump, yeah? Or is it the defecation that is so like obvious, so rampant in that you're mega shitty? Swear on your life that Lagos doesn't smell. Yeah, from Ikoyi to Oshodi, from Oshodi to Ajegunle, from there to Vokes, all those areas, right? Come back to Ketu, Ojota, all these places. Tell me that Lagos doesn't smell on your life. So they took it personal. They took offense. They said, how dare she say Lagos smells, right? So they were now looking for how to force her to apologize, or better still, get her, I don't know the word to use, I think dismiss her from NYSC or something, or you know what, don't give her any certificate so that she will not be able to get a job. You know, and people are saying a lot of things. But now, right, I pretty much appreciated this Gen Z because they have one single tool to voice out, and that is the social media. So far, so good. They are responding in a very likable way to show to Raya that she is not alone. And listen, young lady, when I went on to go and do a bit of a background check on this lady, she is so independent as well. She's actually just been concerned based on what was supposed to be her earnings, right? She gets paid 33,000 naira as their alawi. Meanwhile, a year ago, Tinubu said he has increased the allowance, the alawi to 85,000 naira. Baba, 85,000 naira, that was a year ago. Shengbai, Shishi, Toro, Kobo, Sisi, Toyo, they know how to the 33K. Meanwhile, you all know that the inflation is already hitting, as you know, is already hitting too deep into whatever it is. I mean, it is that you are earning in that contraption right now. So she sort of like heard that to say, hey, something needed to be done. Oh, we cannot continue like this. This is not life. We are so young. And right now, you know, she said something like, you know, I wasn't born to be paying bills. It's like you work and within a day or two, right, your entire salary is gone. For those of you who have job, think of those who don't. But to Tinubu's regime, where they continue to roll out propaganda after propaganda, lies after lies, lies that they themselves are beginning to believe. That makes it even more like dangerous. You know, when you lie to yourself, when you lie to people, you probably will think, you know, they won't find out, or, you know, like, you know the truth. They don't. So you keep lying to them. But you know, the dangerous thing is when you begin to believe that lie yourself. Yeah, that makes it even more dangerous, because that means you are not, or you will never, for any reason, make any correction. Even when people call your attention to it, you won't. Because you strongly believe that you have not done anything wrong. We are doing great. People said we are doing great, kind of. Here was Tinubu's Minister of Misinformation, Idris, his name, talking about Tinubu's regime. Before I start showing you the 30-day rant challenge from the Gen Z in support of Raye's position. But look at this move.
Mr. President, the Charismatic Bishop Conference, at the height of the issue of the fuel subsidy, when we thought it was biting so hard and Nigerians were getting a little bit worried, the Charismatic Bishop Conference organized a very major event at which I was invited to be the guest speaker. And I know the kind of position that the Charismatic Bishop Conference took in ensuring and enlightening Nigerians on the need for us to remain together, to be united, to be focused, and to maintain an unflinching support for government, even in the face of the kind of temporary hardship that we took. Mr. President, I thought this goes a long way in ensuring that at least our religious leaders are also mindful of the need for us to come together, even in the face of hardship. I thought I should say that. Your Excellency, the leader of the delegation talked about the fuel subsidy, the removal, and the temporary hardship that appeared to have been occasioned by that. They also talked about the need for prudence in resource allocation and also the need to drive away corruption in the process. Mr. President, it is no news that indeed in any kind of reform that happens in all parts of the world, temporary hardships are usually experienced. And we're happy to note that today, not only does the federal government have more money to spend to bring about the kind of promises that the president has promised at the very beginning, but also to ensure that the future, according to the president, as he always says, the future of our children and the children yet unborn will not be frittered away. Indeed, if these resources were continued to be kept in the hands of a few people as the fuel subsidy regime provided, it will continue to be business as usual. You are spending what you don't have, and therefore the future of our generations yet unborn is unassured. Today, we have seen the trajectory clearly indicating that the fuel subsidy removal, even with the kind of hardship, the temporary one that we occasion, has indeed provided a clearer picture for the prosperity that all of us so desire, so that our country can be or can take its place in the committee of nations. So in other words, yes, fuel subsidy removal had gone, but we're happy to also see, Your Excellency, that not only the federal government, the subnationals and everyone, more resources to spend, and therefore discipline is coming back, and then the future of our children is kept assured. Your Excellency, the issue of insecurity was also touched here. Yes, in 2023, I know, because I've lived in Kaduna for a very long time, and I know how difficult it was to move from Abuja to Kaduna. Almost impossible for you to just take your car, fuel it, and begin to go on that road. Today, it is not the case. We know that farmers were finding it extremely difficult to go to the farms. We know that this has not completely gone away, but it is a reality that today no one asks question to move from Abuja to Kaduna or any part of the north again. This is not to say that it has been solved completely, but we are on the path to eliminating this insecurity in our lands completely. Mr. President, it is, of course, normal for people to say that there is difficulty in the land. But we have all seen, and like Mr. President has said, occasionally or usually during Ramadan periods, prices of food items go up. We have seen an unprecedented reduction in prices of food items at this time of the Ramadan. And it's even no coincidence that even as this Ramadan is happening, that both religious, major religions, the Christians and Muslims are acknowledging that. And we know that this is just the beginning with the kind of investment happening in the agricultural sector, with the kind of support that the president is providing so that insecurity can be curbed permanently, with also the reassurance that the federal government and the subnationals are getting in terms of resource that is coming to them. Nigeria is indeed on its path to sustainable prosperity. We do know that, of course, this is not the end of story. It is only work in progress. Mr. President, sir, only today we woke up to the news of some kind of remark from faraway America that there is some kind of persecution of some religious groups, precisely the Christians in the northern part of the country. Somehow we are taken aback by that, because we know that you have worked so hard since you came to office to ensure that there is collaboration, there is cooperation, there is also unity that is being forged. Today, 2 hours ago, we were in the Friday Mosque with you, Mr. President. And now we're having the Christian community here. This is not coincidence. We had Ramadan, or we have Ramadan ongoing. We also have the Lent ongoing. These are all indications that no matter the challenges that we have seen before, Nigeria indeed is going along the path of unity progress that will lead to the prosperity that you have promised. Now, so many things have been said, teaching of morals in schools. The National Orientation Agency is working on that to ensure that both religions teach both the Bible and the Quran in our schools. Return of civic education, the reorientation that Mr. President has championed in his 1st of January address is being worked upon. Very soon, the President is going to launch